How's it going? This is your Supply Chain Pro here, and in today's video, we will explore the purpose of standard operating procedures and the steps to create high-quality procedures for your job. Standard operating procedures, otherwise abbreviated by the acronym SOPs, are one of the most important aspects of a high-quality, successful organization. There are 4 major benefits to high-quality SOPs. The first is consistency. If SOPs are utilized, all team members will follow the blueprint on how to do a task, and at the end, the result consistently will be the same because the steps of the process followed are the same. The second major benefit is that SOPs help with training. New employees without previous experience on the task can pick up an SOP, read it, or be trained by a guide or mentor on their first day on the job. They will have a guide on how to do their job correctly during their orientation time period. The third benefit is that SOPs create the conditions for accountability in the workplace. In the event that an SOP is not followed and a mistake or error is created as a consequence, having an SOP that was previously reviewed and signed off on creates the conditions necessary to hold someone accountable for a mistake due to deviating away from the SOP. The last and most important benefit to high-quality SOPs is accuracy. SOPs provide the structure to do the job right, and if followed and enforced, it can reduce honest mistakes on the job. The only 2 downsides of high-quality SOPs is that they do take some time to construct, and they may also discourage creativity among the workforce. Standard operating procedures are just like the recipes that you may follow in your kitchen when cooking or baking. Think about the steps it takes to bake a cake. You must break the eggs, then mix the ingredients into a bowl, then pour the mixture into your cake pan and bake at a certain temperature for a certain amount of time if you wish to have a delicious cake at the end. You should follow the recommended steps and sequence of the recipe. If you get out of sequence, like baking the eggs before mixing the other ingredients, or if you put way too much cinnamon in as an ingredient into your cake, it will ruin the final outcome and your cake will not be enjoyable to eat, as you were expecting according to the recipe. Standard operating procedures are exactly the same. They are a series of instructional steps and a variety of specific sequences that have to be followed for the end result of the process to work as intended. If the steps are out of sequence or one of the steps are not done correctly, the end result may not be what you were expecting. SOPs should always be documented in writing. If you have verbal procedures, there are many opportunities for things to go wrong. There are differences in semantics between employees where you say tomato and I say tomato, or think about the children's game called telephone, where a group of children sit in a line and the first child whispers to the second something about a car wash, and after each child whispers to the next child in the line, the message at the end comes out asking for an order of French fries and a large Coke. Verbal procedures can be unintentionally changed or purposely manipulated and are not recommended. The first step to creating high-quality SOPs is to identify what process you are creating the procedure for and what the desired and end result should be. Maybe this procedure is how to unload a trailer, or maybe how to interact with an application on the computer to run a report that gives you information needed to do your job. Regardless of the industry or application, you will start with identifying the end result desired. The second step will be to identify a content expert. Someone has to be an authority on the subject that knows how to do the job right. Oftentimes, managers will sit down and identify the end result and begin writing procedures without having a true understanding of the specifics of the steps to do the job they are attempting to standardize. This can lead to SOPs with issues, holes, and undesired outcomes. Sometimes the best situation is to coordinate with a high-quality employee or committee of other experts on this part of the task to collaborate and create a procedure that is based in experience of the content and still yields the desired end result. For some procedures, you have no choice but to go to and give it to the experts. IT procedures, for example, where common employees have little knowledge on the major IT principles behind the scenes, and the majority of the procedure will have to be influenced or written by the IT content expert. It is advised to go to the environment that this task is most likely to be performed at and begin doing the process and notating the steps that you take to complete it. The content expert will want to do the entire process in a slow, controlled, and descriptive manner, explaining every detail to the writer. Take detailed notes of the steps in sequence. If there is an item that the content expert says is important on a specific step, notate this, as well as you can also provide further guidance within the SOP. At the conclusion of the process, you should have some detailed step-by-step notes on how to do the job. Ask the content expert or include anything that you know that is essential to understand that wasn't covered in the step-by-step, or that you could provide further insight to future employees working on this task. A picture says 1,000 words. Additionally, taking photos of complicated, difficult, or the most important steps of the process allow for another more effective example to be included in your SOP. The third step is to create an electronic document off of your notes taken on the previous activity. If your company has a standard format for SOPs, you will want to obtain a blank template or a pre-existing SOP and wipe the old data to create a new version for your procedure you are writing today. There is no right or wrong file type to procedure writing. I personally use Microsoft Word. However, other programs can be used, such as Microsoft Excel, Google Docs, Notepad, and any other formatting application. Stick to the format of your company or the one that you are most comfortable with. Transcribe your notes in sequence and in detail onto your new electronic SOP file on the computer. Since this is an official document, you will want to make sure that you are using correct grammar and spelling. Microsoft Word offers support to ensure your words are grammatically correct and professional. A bonus tip for making high-quality SOPs is making sure that you have a relatable choice of words that you use to be effective with your team. Try to communicate your content in the simplest and shortest way possible. Attempt to use common words, names, and phrases that are ingrained in the company culture that you work for. As an example, what do you call this brown piece of cardboard that you see on the screen right now? Is this a box? Is this a case? Is this a unit? Is this a package? Or is this a carton? Different organizations use different words to describe the same brown box that you see on the screen. Make sure that you are using the term in your SOP that most aligns with your company's vernacular. Once you are done with writing the steps, you will want to format the SOP so that it is presentable. If you desire to include photos, now is the time to incorporate them. The next step in writing an effective SOP is to walk the process using the draft SOP. Many writers skip this quality step. However, you will want to return to the station that you took notes at previously and do the task in its entirety following your SOP draft. In the event that there is something wrong with the SOP draft, you will catch this during the test example. You can then go back to the electronic file and make revisions to the document. Once you can walk the process from start to finish using the SOP draft, and you are satisfied with the outcome of following the words on the page, then you can prepare to finalize the document. Finalizing a procedure document gives the document at minimum a name or a title. Some additional options that you can include are a document control number. Document control is a program that will be covered on a future video on the channel. You can include any company logos, proprietary warnings, or legal copyright if your company desires. It is recommended to also include a name, date, and signature line at the end of the SOP. This SOP can be a training document that a new employee can sign off on when they are confident that they understand how to do the process, and including this at the bottom also makes an accountability document if a procedure is broken. At this point, your SOP is ready to be presented to your team. It is recommended to print out and review the document with your team members in a hands-on setting so they can ask questions and you can clarify the important portions of the document. Have the employees sign off and return copies to you for accountability purposes, and give them extra copies to use as references should they encounter a problem when a supervisor is not present at the time. And there you have it. You are on your way to reaping the benefits of your newly created high-quality SOP. For more information on holding employees accountable, see the video link in the description below. If you have a story where your boss made a bad procedure and you had to deal with the consequences of it, comment down below. If you found value in the content of this video, like and subscribe. This is your Supply Chain Pro, out.